To know the difference between collecting modalities, collecting certifications, because we're trying to fill that I'm not good enough, or to go back to the imposter syndrome or something like that. Like, to know the difference. Okay, this is not that. Feels good too. That's not what this is about. This is truly about being the best I can in my business for my clients.
And welcome back to Where Are They Now? I am so excited because I have Jen with us, and Jen was here 2 years ago. She's morphed into so many different things, has been helping so many more people since we last spoke. But Jen, thank you so much, first off, for being back and wanting to come back and talk with us.
It's so great to be here. I love getting time with you and your audience. Thank you.
Of course, of course. And I would love to know, what have you been up to these last 2 years? Has there been any lessons that you've learned in the 2 years since we spoke?
2 years. Wow. It goes by so fast. It feels like every day is an opportunity for a lesson if we're looking, right?
Yes.
Wow. I have learned to trust myself more. And I don't feel like I didn't have a lot of trust in myself. Like, that is actually one of the areas where I do trust myself. If you ask me, there's just been different areas of opportunity where challenges come up and I have to go into those uncomfortable spaces that I don't necessarily like to be. And yet, day by day, I keep surviving. Here I am, another day. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm taking all the right steps. Everything is unfolding like properly. So I am grateful that it's like, yes, you can trust yourself in all of the areas. And sometimes, in order to develop that kind of trust, we, have to be put in those situations that we would rather avoid, and just like, just think, wow, I'm glad that's not happening.
Yeah.
Instead, the only way to really know is for that to actually happen and to actually walk through it. So, yeah, I would say I trust myself more, and I didn't know that that was a muscle that needed building. So, thank you, universe.
The universe always provides when we want it or not. And it's funny because I know we talked about imposter syndrome. Actually, it just sparked my memory of just like how we go through life, and sometimes we need to like believe in ourselves a little bit more than we thought we needed to in order to get through those difficult times and challenges. And there's so many obstacles that are thrown our way in this entrepreneurial world where we don't even see it coming, and we just have to kind of get really creative of figuring out how to get through it. We still have the same goal, but it's the steps we take to get there. And I know last time we were talking about just what you really wanted to accomplish and move towards, because we had talked about with COVID and you had moved online, and just really bringing together your online coaching as well as your nonprofit with the horses and everything that you do. Can you share what you've been up to since you were talking about that option 2 years ago? Has it evolved? Where has it gone? What's been up with that?
I actually did just go back and watch too. I'm like, what did we talk about? What did I wear? Like, what are all the things when you're going back, and to see
Yeah.
how, growth is our business, right? So it's fun to be able to have a conversation on growth. And we mentioned that probably some kind of a hybrid going forward, because both my for-profit and nonprofit were very grounded in person. And then with COVID, all the in-person went away and everything came online. And that was just like a blessing and a miracle that it did so well online. What a great surprise that was. And figuring that as we go forward, everything is going to have to be some kind of a hybrid, because we're not going to leave our families behind that we made online to say, hey, we're in person. And I didn't really have a plan for that. It wasn't steps that I actively took to get there. So looking back now, I'm like, how it just all unfolded. That's exactly where we are now. We have all of our in-person with Kindness Shared, and some more programs that we didn't have before are up and running in person. And with Hope Inrheart, our gratitude gathering membership is now becoming more of a hybrid for people who are local, or even if they're not local, if they're flying in for one of our events or they're here to visit family or whatever. I played around with it in the fall because, you know, summer in South Florida, I don't do things in person here. It's just too hot. I played around with it. I experimented with it in the fall with Authentic You, which is a program for women and horses to find their authentic selves. And I also launched in a beta phase Hope and Horses for Couples, which is fun. It's like a fun date based on communication or whatever their goals are, and a self-love experience to just come and tailor it to like whatever you're looking for to tap into that self-love, because we know the only way to give love, the only way to enrich all of our relationships, whether they're professional or personal, is through our own self-love. So I played around with those and really loved the results, and decided, I had announced then to our gratitude members not that long ago that we will be doing in person. So it's going to be part of their membership. And when we have space, we will invite outside people if they want to come to experience all of the different ways that we can really dive deep into self-love, or if it's the program strictly with the horses to move them forward in life. That so now we get to include all of that, and it's just that natural unfolding, because I didn't sit down with a plan. So who knows, maybe the universe just heard our conversation. It's like, okay, here you go. When you don't have the resistance, things just happen, right?
Oh, that's such a good point. When the resistance isn't there, like so many more things start to unfold. And I'm curious because a lot of people listening are like, well, I have an action plan and but it's not working. For you, things sounded like it really just unfolded step by step. What did that really look like though? If you can kind of give us some tangible steps that it looked like for you at least.
Well, the biggest piece, like the piece where I had the I guess it probably resistance in some way. During this time span, I went and I got myself certified in equine assisted learning, which is kind of a big piece to move out of the way for me, because coming from the horse business, before the coaching business, there was a part of me when I started coaching, I always wanted to put, it wasn't just the mission for Kindness Shared, it was the mission for everything that I did, because Kindness Shared wasn't even created yet. I wanted people and animals to come together for healing, to move forward in their lives. So coming from the horse business, there was a part of me that was telling myself, well, you should know how to do this. You've taught and trained horses professionally for 20 years. You've been a coach for over 10, I forget how long now, actually, when I started coaching, but you know, all of these years of bodies of knowledge, you should be able to put these together on your own. And I just knew that there's people out there who this is all they do. So they know how to do this better than I can try to recreate the wheel. I just had that belief and was not finding the right people. I also wasn't out there like beating the pavement looking for them, because it is a serious commitment financially and time. But I knew like that was a resource that I was going to choose to go down that road when I could stop beating myself up for not just knowing how to do it with, you know, combining these. And I did. I finally did find the Equine Connection out of Canada. There's plenty in the United States, but I just like coming from a horse background, I could see through a lot of stuff. So like I just did not feel that a lot of the ones that I was coming across, they weren't what I was looking for. And the people, the trainers themselves, like I really liked the two women who run this program, and their particular program has been studied by two different Canadian universities for 5 to 7 years each, like long-term studies. And I love the science behind things. So getting that piece and saying, yes, okay, I'm going to do this, and getting certified in that feels really good, because like, okay, so now I really like, this is what I needed. And I do have the support of that, you know, like, so it's not doing it alone. And so much of entrepreneurship is So with this particular program, like they've got your back for eternity. I can ask them questions anytime. I could show up there if I wanted to show up in Canada, they've got your back. So again, that community that you do business in and with helps move us forward, just, who we are with. So when you're planning, try not to plan solo all the time. I do a lot by myself because I love the planning phase. I love planning. So I'll sit down and do that at night most of the time by myself. But then to get you to the next step, definitely recognize when you need to pull people in to do that with you.
I love that you said that, because I think part of entrepreneurship, it's a very lonely journey, and it's building community, being around people that have done something before you or in a different way to add to your knowledge base, because you have been doing it for 20 years prior, and like you understand so much of it. But I think it takes you out of that element of being alone and be able to be in a group, to be in the energy of other people that are doing similar things, and not reinventing the wheel and just learning something new in addition to what you already know. And I think that's important, to ask for help, to delegate, to understand, okay, I've gone as far as I can right now, but maybe if I get the certification, I can do something different in what I'm already doing, and like adding to your toolbox
Yes.
instead of just trying to do it all by yourself all the time, because it's
Yeah.
exhausting.
It really is. And to know the difference between collecting modalities, collecting certifications, because we're trying to fill that I'm not good enough, or to go back to the imposter syndrome or something like that, like to know the difference. Okay, this is not that. Feels good too, like that's not what this is about. This is truly about being the best I can in my business for my clients, and not reinventing the wheel.
We've all done that so many times, like enough.
Yes, exactly.
But I love that you incorporated, like, with couples and self-love and everything that you've embodied. You've, like, since the moment I met you, you've been all about self-love and really bringing people together. Like, that's just what you put out there in the world every time I interact with you, and every post I've seen that you do. But I love that you really created what you said you were going to do, and you did it. And that's amazing. And it's just for other people listening to hear that if you have a dream, if you have a goal, you can achieve it. It's also letting go of the control and surrendering to not being resistant to something that might come into your energy that might be a really great opportunity, like a certification or just learning something different to add to that toolbox, not just continuing to add because you don't feel good enough. That's a whole other separate entity, but really being able to broaden and expand your impact for what you want to do. And I'm just so excited for you and so proud of you for everything that you have accomplished. And I know you've already accomplished so much, but what are your future goals and aspirations? What else do you want to be or do or bring to the world?
I would really love to grow our gratitude gathering membership. That's like, that really has my heart. I love working in that style and getting to know the women so well, and being able to provide that space of community for women. Again, like, it doesn't matter what state they're in, they have these great relationships within our gratitude family. So I would really love to grow that. I think there's a lot of room for growth there. So that is where my heart is. And I see the in-person leading towards doing that, because if people come and they get a sense of who we are, and if they're the type that enjoys nature and animals and wants to live a life that's guided by gratitude and kindness, you're probably going to really enjoy your time. And while it's the option starting in the fall to come in person, if you're not a gratitude member, or it's a paid option, for gratitude membership, it's free. Like, I pour all of my resources into my gratitude membership. So it just makes sense to check out the membership, and then they know for sure this is, something that is right for them. And so I feel like growing gratitude membership that way, by pulling all the things together that I love and the way I love to work with people, I they get to self-identify, like, yes, this is something that I want or not, rather than me trying to sell them on something, like, of course, I think it's great. It's my program, but to be in that energy of the people and the animals, and then they can say, they can self-select, that's a membership that works for them or not, without me having to say anything.
Absolutely. And it's like creating that community that you've always embodied and being able to bring people together, like gratitude gathering, like it just makes sense and embodies who you are, what you do, and all the women that and individuals that you bring together in couples in every capacity, but also the animals. And I think it takes a special person. And I probably said this last time, it takes a special person. When you love an animal, there's just like a different entity to you. But I think what you're doing and how you've really been able to grow it and continue to expand your reach to help more people live in that kindness and gratitude and love, and just really coming together with other people, because when we're in that same space as other people, we expand, we grow, and like we feel that energy when we're around other like-minded individuals.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Just multiplies out there. It is such a beautiful energy.
It really is. And so is your energy. But I've been so enjoying this conversation, just having you come back, what you've been up to, all the impact you're continuing to make and will continue to make. But where can people find you, Jen? We're going to link everything below, but if you could let us know too.
Sure. And I love being in your energy, that you've always embodied self-love and encouraged others to dive into theirs, no matter where in your journey. You have different professional journeys, but that's the core of you. It's so beautiful. Where can people find me? On social media, you can find me under Hope Inrheart, under any of the socials: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's Hope Inrheart. For quick tips, like how to live with more gratitude and kindness, I have a free ebook if anybody wants to grab that, and that's gratitudeandkindnessbook.com. You can grab that. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to find, so
Love it. It makes it really simple. But again, Jen, thank you for coming on, just sharing what you've been up to. It's just so great to hear all the growth that you've had personally and professionally, and just the impact again. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, but you are just making such a difference in this world. And I appreciate it. And I know everyone, every soul that you touch appreciates it as well.
thank you so much. And thank you for having me back on. It's always great to be with you.
Likewise, well, have a great rest of your day. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below. What was the biggest takeaway from Jen today? I'm sure she would love to see that comment, and we'll see you on the next episode.